What's up guys, Dave here, TMG. Today on my 13 Hyundai Veloster, we're going to swap out the stock air intake hose for a aftermarket, which I found actually off Amazon, short ram intake. So I'll show you what we're dealing with here. Okay, so when I bought this car, I put the catch can on because the one that was on was broken, but they had already got rid of the stock air box and just put a cone filter on the stock air intake. So I'm going to replace that with this kit that I bought off Amazon. So this pipe will go down here. Air filter will go on the end. And I'm going to show you guys how to get that done. Should be pretty simple. Tools that I will need. Now, if you have the stock air box still in place, you'll need to figure that out because unfortunately I don't have it, so I can't tell you where that goes. But you're going to need a pair of pliers. In my situation, I'm going to need both a regular and a Phillips screwdriver. I'm also going to use a 1/4 inch ratchet with an extension and a 7mm socket. I use a ratchet when I tighten up the hose clamps because I want them really tight so they don't pop off, but I also don't want to use an impact or a drill because there's a fine line between tight and stripping, and I don't feel that the screwdrivers do enough. So this is my recommendation. And if you use a 1/4 inch, it kind of lays down a little bit of less power than if you use a 3/8 drive. So that's going to be my tools for the day. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright guys, welcome to the channel. So this is going to be a pretty quick video. I'm going to speed a lot of this up. But I did want to just give you guys kind of a how to do this. It is a very simple process. The first thing I did was remove the engine cover. And then I'm going to remove the vent hose that goes from the valve cover to the intake pipe itself. Once I did that, I've used a Phillips screwdriver to loosen the clamp that clamps the intake hose to the end of the turbo snorkel pipe. So on these turbos, on the Veloster, there is a long snorkel that comes off the end of the turbo that goes to the intake hose. So I remove that. Once that's done, it's really as simple as popping off this old K&N filter. I'm going to get that out of the way, and then from there I will remove the intake hose off of the engine. It's pretty simple. Alright, once all that has been removed, I did take a moment, grab some towels, and clean everything, wipe off all the surfaces, because you do want, when these silicone couplers get tightened down, you do want a nice, dry, clean surface. I also checked all the other hoses that were underneath the intake just to make sure I didn't see anything that had a crack or anything that was loose or broken. And then I grabbed the new intake pipe. So these pipes, I gotta admit guys, they're cheap, okay? But it's a short ram intake. It's all about the diameter of the pipe to get more air into the turbo. Really, when you buy all the aftermarket brands like the AEM, the K&N and all that, unless they have a box that relocates the filter and encases the filter, or unless you're running a long, like a cold air intake, they really don't matter. It really is all about air velocity and the amount of air you can get in through the air filter into the engine. You're going to see more, I don't want to say gains because this really isn't going to give you many gains anyways, but you're going to see more benefits from a quality filter over whatever brand piping you decide to buy. So again, this one's off Amazon. It ended up fitting quite well. I will say the silicone couplers, they're pretty cheap. They'll be just fine. There's not any boost pressure here. The hose that came with it that's supposed to go from the valve cover to the intake, it was way too large. The air filter that came with it, the opening for the air filter was at least an inch in diameter larger than the pipe itself. So they supply you with thick rubber rings that go inside and you're supposed to use to take up that gap. Another reason why the cheap stuff is what it is. But down the road, what I'll probably end up doing is just buying a K&N cone filter that is the correct diameter and actually sticks properly onto the end of the intake. All right, so at this point in time, I have got the air filter installed on the end of the pipe. It was kind of a pain in the ass because, like I said, you have to use a round rubber, basically a bushing that goes inside the filter to kind of take up that slack. But once I got it tight, it worked just fine. The next step was the valve cover hose, the breather hose. So that I clamped back down to the valve cover, but I did end up having to use a small worm clamp to tighten the hose to the intake pipe because the nipple that comes off the intake pipe is actually smaller in diameter than the stock nipple was on the stock air intake hose. However, once I got that tightened down, everything was good to go. So it was time for me to clean up and do some test runs. So I'm going to cut to that. First, we're going to start with how the vehicle sounded beforehand and then how it sounds afterwards. You tell me whether or not you hear a difference. I will say I believe that it didn't make much of a difference. What made more of a difference was when I replaced the standard stock boost solenoid with a upgraded Mac boost solenoid. That took care of the fluttering when I let off the gas, and it also took care of my check engine light, and I think it made the vehicle run crisper in general. But let's go ahead and jump to those sounds for you. Alright, all done installing. It took me longer to grab my paper towel out of the house and did do the installation, probably 15 minutes. Hot take is you're buying it off Amazon, it's cheap, plain and simple. This is supposed to be a 3-inch pipe. I didn't measure it ahead of time, I probably should have, but it's supposed to be a 3-inch pipe. I know 3 1/4, something like that is what all the tuner shops are using on this motor in particular. Look, it's a short ram intake, so it's a pipe, a cone filter, and it gets connected to the engine. You know, unless you're buying one that's got a sealed box or anything else, if you're going with a short ram, or I should say like a long cold air intake, which for me, I'm in Michigan, so it makes no sense to do that when this is a daily driver and it's going to see snow and a lot of rain and whatnot. Don't spend a lot of money on all the brands for a short ram intake. That's my hot take on this. Now, honestly, when I bought it, you had to choose between black, red, yellow, green, etc. I knew that was going to change the cone filter color, but I thought it was going to change the pipe color because I hate chrome. So one day I may pull this off and paint it black, just because I think chrome gets really nasty, it gets hot, it discolors, fingerprints get on it. But other than that, it sounds good. I mean, there's no real horsepower gains from doing this modification, I don't think. I mean, I think you could dyno test, maybe get a couple horsepower if that, but you're not buying that. You're not buying this for horsepower, in my opinion. You're buying it to get more air into the turbo and sound. So going from the stock intake, which looked like shit just hanging out there with this K&N filter, and I did use the supplied filter mainly because this K&N filter, one, could use to be cleaned, and there is a hole in this air filter here. So I don't know. I'm going to wash it, and I'm going to clean it, and I'm going to put some oil on it, and I'm going to check that filter, see if there's actually any damage where it goes through the filter. Maybe I'll eventually put this filter back on instead of the one that came with the kit. But either way, if you're cleaning your filters or changing them regularly, it shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, it's like $100. I think the next cheapest one I found was $175 or $200. You know, Apexi makes them, and there's multiple other brands. I think Torque has their own setup. But honestly, for me, I've been in this game long enough to tell you that you're buying the pipe. If you even want to go cheaper, you could go and bend your own pipe, or you could, you know, piece one together. I've seen people piece them together with PVC piping and dyno and still make big numbers. So really, it's all about, in this situation, save some money, buy one that you can get that works for your application and doesn't break the bank. If you're going with a short ram, anything other than that, or if you want one that's concealed inside of a box, has ram air going to it, etc., then you'll need to spend a little more money for that. But for just a basic, getting rid of the air box and putting a short ram intake on it, cheap is the way to go, in my opinion. As long as the fitment is good, and as long as the size of the pipe is proper. Like I said, I think this 3-inch pipe, which will do just fine. Then the next best thing, obviously, is running a decent quality air filter. I recommend K&N. There are other ones on the market. If you have a vehicle that has a mass airflow sensor, you do need to be very careful with how you oil these, because that oil can get on the mass airflow sensor. And it could cause some reading issues or just kill the sensor altogether. But on this one, it's a map vehicle, so there's no mass airflow sensor I have to worry about. So washing this, drying it, lubricating it, letting it sit on a shelf for 24 hours till it dries, probably will be the next step I'll do, and I'll put this filter back on there. But that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Until next time, you guys take care, and I'll see you on the next upgrade.